Take a look at the collective energy. What's going on with the planets, with the solar activity, and the collective energy in the world right now? What does this mean on the world stage for world predictions in the current week? And then what does this mean for you personally? It's all connected. The collective energy affects what happens on the world stage, but it also affects how you feel and what goes on in your life. So let's break this down into 3 stages, all with the forecaster oracle. So the first stage will be what is going on in the collective. The second stage will be the predictions for this week for the world stage. And then thirdly, it will be your best way to navigate this energy in the upcoming week. Wow, this really is heightened activity this week, heightened collective energy. So let's start with what's happening with the solar energy as well as the major transits during this week, January 5th to January 11th. First of all, in the solar activity, we are in a phase where we're rising towards the solar maximum. It'll peak in 2026. So this energy is getting heightened. We're seeing a lot more activity with sunspots, flares, and CMEs. So this does affect us. It affects the earth, it affects our collective energy. So this energetic backdrop, it's heightened geomagnetic agitation. It could be increased auroras and more electrically charged collective field. So we all feel it. This could be heightened reactivity. It could be nervous system overstimulation, which is why you'll be feeling it as sleeplessness or brain fog or fatigue. Collective pressure cooker kind of dynamics could be felt here with these cards on the table. And maybe also sudden revelations or disruptions, given that we've got the Tower card on the table. So astrologically, the major transits for January 5th, and they haven't given me the normal card they give me to remind me to do the transits because I already remembered. So we've got Chiron direct on January 2nd. Chiron, interesting, it's a wounded healer. So after the energies that we've already felt, this energy is going to bring emotional truth surfacing, whether that's a personal level or whether this is a global stage. Unresolved wounds are going to become more visible, and collective sensitivity is going to be heightened over this time. We have the full moon in Cancer this week, and we're going to be still feeling the afterglows of this activity here, the energy of Cancer, full moon. This is also a supermoon, 1 of 3 for 2026. Very heightened energy around the Cancer energy. It's going to expose what's been neglected, given that it is Cancer, especially around safety, belonging, and emotional security. This can trigger emotional volatility, protective or defensive behavior. Also, value distortion, morality imbalance. This is also gathering of people here in this card as well. But it feels a little bit more than that, the energy. It doesn't just feel to be collectively people rising, it feels more than that. I feel it's heightening collective energy is what is happening here. That could really be affecting us cognitively. Maybe reaching breaking point with the system collapse, the Tower moment, and things being unstable. But definitely the energy feels turbulent, upheaval, and chaos. Pre-selected the cards for each of the stages just so I could do a little bit of work behind the scenes, tapping into spirit to see how I felt about the incoming energy, rather than just doing it on screen. So I've just got the rods you can watch through what the rods are doing as I'm talking. This is a yes, that's a no, and sometimes I'll point to the different cards that they want us to highlight as we go through this collective energy. So let's start with the Tower moment. The Tower moment is system collapse, and the things that have been unstable will start to fall apart. Solar maximum energy is going to amplify instability here. So this could be leadership, as we are starting to see with Venezuela, public frustrations from civil unrest. Maybe it's time to confront what hasn't been working, what the people are not going to tolerate anymore. It shows that a system or systems collapsing because they're no longer sustainable, and we'll start to see the beginnings of that this week. Tears in the fabric of current systems, starting with Venezuela. We have fire, wrath, tension heating up. So that system, the heating up and the tension energy also contributes to the unsustainable energy or systems currently in place. We're talking about solar flares here as well, because it's energy around fire. It could be that the collective field is reactive, hot, or easily triggered at this time. Energy around impatience, or ready to confront what they're not tolerating anymore. It's not aggressive energy, although it could be. It feels more about pressure building up. The build-up of pressure where we're starting to see tears in fabric, being that we're starting to see splits or tears in current structures or systems. The civil unrest, it's people taking action. This is collective energy. This is how the energy is feeling right now in the collective. There's tension. There's tension because of our mainstream news and what's going on the news at the moment, but also tension occurring because of solar activity. It is affecting us cognitively. Now, the civil unrest here, people standing up or speaking out. We have Chiron going direct. Wounds around fairness, safety, healing are being activated. Could be causing protests, online uprisings, collective pushback energy, or communities demanding accountability. This is the energy of breaking point. Enough is enough. It's the energy of build-up also. Now, why some people feel that tense energy where it reaches a unsustainable level doesn't mean they're going to go out on the streets and protest, but you may feel it. The tension that's rising in the collective energy right now. Is it reaching a precipice? How much more can we take of this collective energy? Turbulent energy. Turbulent energy up the top here, this one. Upheaval and chaos. Very much the same meaning as the tower. The tower also means upheaval and chaos. Air turbulence can talk about weather patterns as well. Arctic freezing energy, energy of anything related to the air, affecting the people physically. But everything is connected. Unseen connections, hidden dynamics. It is all connected. We don't know how. We're not taught to understand the dynamics of the collective energy connections and how it affects us personally, but also affects world events, weather patterns. But there is a hidden dynamic here, an unseen connection. So this could be, it could also be negotiations, you see, with the deals being made, starting with Venezuela. It could be invisible power structures or struggles that's taking place right now. So Neptune right now is shifting, settling into its new position in Aries. This is very challenging energy. And historically, Neptune in Aries has been about shutdowns of political systems, royal families, changes in old structures of government systems, war energy. So as this Neptune finds its new home in Aries, this is also affecting the unrest that's taking place in old structures, dissolving what no longer works for us. It's all connected. Cognitive dissonance is a shift in thinking. It aligns with the Saturn-Neptune energy, as Saturn and Neptune are conjunct in Aries in their new home in 2026. Closer to the end of January, we'll start to feel even more heightened energy around this, as they're currently retrograding back and forth between Pisces and Aries at the moment. But once that Neptune settles into its new home in Aries, that's when we're really going to start to see the shift in power structures, old power systems. People making a stand to dissolve things that are not working anymore. We're going to be seeing a lot more of that in 2026, but the energy is boiling right now. Tension heating up. The energy collectively feels like a shift coming. That it is unsustainable the way they are, and people don't quite know what it is that they need to do. They don't know, it's hidden what the direction forward is, but people are feeling the shift. They're feeling the tension collectively. So this is a pressurizing energy for this week. It's what's going to be playing out over 2026. Pressure is rising, and the energy will need to be released or dissolved with that Neptune. Collective tension will need releasing, and outdated structures may start to destabilize. So let's take a look at what the cards want to reveal for predictive energy world stage. First of all, I'm seeing flight path, travel, cyber attacks, data breach. So this could be more information being released around travel. Some kind of cyber attack imminent. Could just be a data breach, but may affect flight plans. We've got outdated dismantling, obsolete systems. This is the energy that's felt in the collective from the activation of Neptune finding its new home in Aries. This is what's coming. This is ruled by the energy of Pluto. Pluto's currently in Aquarius, where it will be for the next couple of decades. But this also brings great change to the collective energy. Great change and transformation. Dismantling old systems that don't work. So this week, we may see a little more of that. It starts with Venezuela, but that's not where it ends. There's more to come. Structure reform, overhaul or update. This aligns to outdated dismantling of obsolete systems requiring structure reform. This week we might hear a little bit about this. Systems that are being overhauled or updated. Maybe it's systems where they are compromised by data attacks or cyber breaches. We have narrative discernment, manipulation, that appears to be unconnected to the structure reform. Okay, the rods are indicating we need to come back to structure reform and outdated dismantling obsolete systems. So, big in the headlines this week, world stage, of course, is going to be Venezuela. US takeover, as that's already started to happen today. What's going to happen with flight and travel? As the area is unstable. Fluctuating volatility, instability could affect travel to the area. But I don't just think it's just Venezuela. I think this is the beginning of removing or dismantling outdated systems or restructuring, reforming, overhauling or updating new systems to do with cyber. This could be cybersecurity. Cybersecurity this week could be very important. Keep our eyes on commercial airlines this week and what's happening with data or travel plans. There is fluctuating volatility this week. Instability on the world stage. I feel like certain plans set in motion aren't going exactly the way they were intended. And they have to reform or overhaul or update whatever narrative was being planned. But definitely a great deal of fluctuating volatility coming from that collective energy. So it makes things uncertain, especially when people are planning certain things on the world stage. It makes the energy right now very volatile. Things don't go to plan. There's so much volatility collectively that it makes trying to overhaul, update takeovers a little harder than they appear on paper. This is not about the news that's being read or revealed in newspapers. That's not the cards don't want to talk. For one thing, you have to use discernment with all headlines. What you're reading in papers or watching on media goes back into the collective energy and makes it even more volatile. It makes tension heighten even further. Certain things could be manipulated to read a certain way. So this week there could be a trigger. It could be a celestial trigger. It could be something that's taking place maybe with the sun or the planets or something going on in the cosmic that affects you on a personal level. This energy here looks very stressful. It's a catalyst event or a turning point, but it feels very stressful, emotional, confusing. But this energy is asking you to embrace internal solitude. Your energy has a ripple effect, consequences to the collective energy. So when you're participating in this energy up here, you are making the collective energy worse. So instead focusing on serenity, peace, or contentment, a strategic pivot, a course correction if you feel you are being drawn into the negative energy here. It's going to require a tactical response, a bit of thought, strategic pivot also. This week, whatever your plans are, whatever it is you're doing, if you feel you're being drawn in to this energy here, you will need to do a strategic pivot, a course correction, or have a tactical response. Think about how you're feeling. Don't just be guided by the emotions because they are heavily influenced by the collective energy right now. It triggers your emotions first. Then comes the brain fog and the mental confusion. But you need to pause, stop, question why you're feeling that, and then choose to not participate in that energy. You need to be on the defensive and have a tactical response. Once you feel this energy happening, you need to make a conscious decision to shift that energy. Collectively, this is a group reading, it's not a one-on-one, but collectively the energy is saying that intellect will be required. Respond to your current situations that's going on around you in a strategic way. Be guided by your head this week rather than your heart. There could be something that is a turning point, an event that stirs or triggers emotions, a fallout or tension that's going to require defensive mobilization on your part, a tactical response that will require a course correction or a strategic pivot. Now, terms agreed, deal being made. For some of you, this could be a fallout due to a past negotiation or something you thought was agreed to. May require a little bit more diplomacy. There could be fallout coming from, or tension coming from a deal that is made, or something that you subconsciously or mentally agree to. So when you reach that turning point where you're feeling the emotions changing, you need to bring it back down to mental. Question why you're feeling the way you're feeling. Pause and choose to course correct as it's happening. For others, the terms agreed to or the deal made could cause could have a bit of a fallout, not go to plan. Thank you so much for joining me for this week's collective reading. I hope you enjoyed that one. Let me know how you are navigating these challenging energies right now.